Okay. What's good, everybody? I hate to say I told you so. I really do, because I know a lot of you don't want to hear that right now, but I've been talking about this. I've been talking about this for a while. Red November historically is always meant a red December in crypto. Talked about all of it on the channel. Talked about it on my Discord. I talked about my exits in my Discord, all that stuff. But yeah, we'll get into what's going on here, guys. Everything is good news, but unfortunately everything going down. Yep. We're in a bear market. That's what happens. We are in the bear market, yeah? Bear markets, this is what happens. Watching from Michigan. Thanks for having the best Discord out there, homie. Hey man, I'm happy you love it. I'm happy that you're part of the community. That's that means everything to me, man. So much love. Thank you. Bear market? Yeah, we've been in a bear market since October. XRP has actually been in a bear market since July, I believe. Let's go down to the 15-minute chart here, guys. Bitcoin's been in a bear market since October, though. I'm in the long position, liquidation, a Bitcoin long position. Liquidation's at 62,000. Should I exit? It's going to be like a slow grind down. We're not going to instantly go to 62. You flip-flop, dude? Not really, actually, at all. If you've been watching any of my videos over the last, like, 2.5, 3 months, it's been very consistent. After the government shutdown happened and it really put a wrench in our year end, I completely changed, my whole position in this market, because markets aren't straight up or straight down. If you find issue with someone changing their mind when certain things happen, which are bearish or bullish, you probably should not be investing. Just friendly, like that's just purely friendly. I mean that in the nicest way possible, truthfully. I don't mean that in a bad way. Are we going to lose all our money? I mean, no, definitely. I mean, nothing goes to zero. I mean, last bull run, Bitcoin went to like 70K and then it fell down to like 16,000, right? Bottom out at like 16,000. So it didn't go to zero. After it hit 16,000, we had a nice grind back up to, our next all-time high last October here, which was 126K. Our wallets are taking a real beating, but who's buying the dips? I'm buying the dips. Listen, like, this is how I made all my money, guys. And here's the deal, right? Like, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be upset, whatever, crying about what's going on right now, right? Fine. Cry, complain, try to find someone to blame, everyone except for yourself, right? But the fact of the matter remains, like, you buy in bears, you sell in bulls. Just because something or someone told you something and you believe the bull market was going to go longer than it was, which is the trap that people fall into every single bull market, does not mean that you now need to start looking to blame people or being mad at other people and negating all accountability for your own decisions. So if you really do truthfully want to make money, you gotta listen to reason. You gotta stop speculating, like just completely like stop speculating. Look at actual solidified historical examples of things happening and how they affect markets, and listen to the people that are actually giving you the facts, not the people that are going there on their show saying that XRP is going to hit $10,000 per coin and they have information on why that's going to happen, but they can't tell you that information because of NDAs. Because if somebody doesn't have actual facts to back anything up and they're doing extreme levels of speculation, you guys are going to get absolutely wrecked. That is the cold, hard truth. And I really don't care if some of you guys don't want to hear that. That's I run my channel on transparency and truth and what I know is right, not what's going to make me a quick buck at the expense of my entire audience. That's not how I run my channel here. So I'm going to let that be. But XRP is not hitting $100 per coin in the next 2 weeks. XRP is not going to hit $750 per coin in the next 2 weeks. It's not going to hit $10,000 per coin in 2026. Anyone who says these things is grifting and using you for quick clicks or conversions to their business. That is the cold hard facts. If you speculate in investment markets, you most certainly are going to lose. That is rule number 1 of investing. If you disagree with me now and you think XRP is going to hit $100 or $750 per coin in the next 2 weeks, and that doesn't happen, all I ask is you remember that line. Speculators in investing are most definitely going to lose. Just remember that. We'll circle back in 2 weeks when XRP is not $100 or $750 or $10,000 per coin. Weakness ahead of data equals good. We'll see. You said $1,000. I've never said $1,000 per coin, dude. That's insane. This could be the run where they try to shake a lot of people out. If it hits 30 cents, I'll buy more. Of course, yeah. If it goes to 30 cents, I'm loading up the dump truck. You kidding me? I don't think we're going to go that low. Even during like the bottom of this bear market, I don't think we're going to touch 30 cents. You know, I think there's a possibility we go to like anywhere from 60 cents to $1 at the lowest. But I don't think we're going down to 30 cents. Like that would take a lot, you know? Know a sale when you see it. It's Christmas. That's right. If you truly have conviction in XRP and you truly believe in the technology, you truly think it's going to be a part of the future financial system, then the prices that we see today, while global liquidity is retracting due to the fact that Japan is raising their rates. You know what, actually, I'm going to explain this to a lot of you guys because I do think that a lot of you guys have this twisted. A lot of people ask me about the reverse carry trade all the time, and I want to describe to you guys what's actually going to happen, not like the ridiculous pipe dream that some people believe that is just literally impossible. So I'm going to show you guys a really nice thread that I read today from Graham Stephan, which explains this whole scenario extremely well. And this guy I very much respect because he actually shares valuable information and helps people. He has a massive finance channel. You know, this guy has millions of subscribers. He's like the largest finance YouTuber, and he focuses mainly on like geopolitics and how that affects stocks and that kind of stuff and real estate, because that's where he made all his money is in real estate. But let's just talk about this, okay? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about Japan raising rates, the reverse carry trade narrative, really break it down. It's actually known as the yen carry trade. So this is something that's been around for a very long time because Japan is historically a country that has kept their interest rates extremely low so that other countries could borrow capital from Japan essentially for free and invest that internationally, right? So basically, Japan for a very long time had 0% or near 0% interest rates. So people could essentially arbitrage Japanese capital and use that and convert that over to US dollar, you know, or other currencies like euro, whatever, and then use that to purchase, you know, a number of different things, whether that be stocks, real estate, crypto, you know, all of these really, you know, easy to arbitrage things. You can get a certain 5% cap rate real estate off a 0% loan. I mean, that's like a 0%, like that's just easy. Any investor will take advantage of that. So let's just get this out of the way. And let's read this. So for decades, the yen carry trade has been the secret engine behind global liquidity, and the mechanics were simple enough that a child could understand them, but profitable enough to move trillions of dollars. Here is the cheat code and how it worked. Essentially, people would borrow cheap. They would borrow money from Japan where interest rates were effectively 0%, and they would invest it abroad. They took the free money, they bought US treasuries and whatever, and they got a 4 to 5% yield. Amazing, right? 0% to 4 to 5%. You're basically just printing free money, right? And then they just profited the difference without using any of their own money. Now, of course, something's changing here, and Japan is raising rates to save its own currency, right? Because, of course, they're experiencing lots of inflation. And so basically what's happening is the gap between the rates is getting squeezed. The free money is no longer free. People that borrowed all of this money from Japan now need to pay, and there's going to be interest there. And as the Japanese raise rates, the trade flips. Investors are now being forced to sell their US assets or European assets, wherever they're buying, to pay back their yen loans. Instead of money flowing into the US markets, it is being sucked out to pay debts in Tokyo. And this is what's known as a massive liquidity drain, which is happening right now under our noses. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Historically, okay, every single time this unwinding has happened, there have been investors that have had to sell large amounts of US assets, European assets, whatever it may be, crypto, real estate, you name it, in order to service that debt that they now have, right? Some companies even go bankrupt because of this, because they have very poor financial management. Maybe they over leveraged themselves and they didn't expect Japan to raise the rates, whatever. But the riskier assets, such as Bitcoin or XRP, historically during these periods of time, they get a large correction. 30, 40% for Bitcoin sometimes even during these periods of time. And so to assume, because Japan is now raising rates, that magically XRP is going to be the world's solution to all problems and going to be the national bridge reserve currency, and it's going to catapult itself up to $10,000 per coin, and this is the first domino that's going to cause this unwinding and the reverse carry trade to take place for XRP, is absolutely insane, because there's zero confirmation or realistic expectation for this to even happen. What information do we have that all world governments are going to start using XRP as some kind of bridge? Zero. That's the truth. There's no proof of this. Of course, I would love for this to happen, but if you're betting on that right now, you're betting on a pipe dream, speculation. It's just a ridiculous idea. Based off of all of the examples we have historically, it's just going to be a retraction in the markets followed by a boom later on down the road. That's just the way that it works. That's the way that it goes. If a frog had wings, he wouldn't bump his ass when he hopped. That's interesting. Now here's $20, more like 50 cents. Patience will be rewarded. Absolutely. Yeah. And this is actually realistically a really good thing. Like if you're actually taking advantage of this, if you actually have, fiat currency and you can, buy these assets for a very nice discount, personally, I'm taking advantage. I think that's an amazing thing. What about all of the catalysts this year? Should see real movement soon. Like we're gonna find our next local bottom. We're gonna bounce, but like right now, global liquidity is extremely likely to continue to retract over the next few months here as Japan raises their rates, whatever, and as the U.S. is basically just pausing their rate cuts. Right, the U.S. will be eventually forced to cut rates more, and when that does happen, there's going to be more liquidity available to the markets because more and more people will be able to get their low interest loans again to keep the growth engine going. So that's what we need to look out for. We need to look out for when is the US going to get those interest rates to below the Japanese levels, right? When they get below Japan, then that's when we can start to see some bullish market conditions again. So this, like, in my opinion, this is just an incredible buying opportunity. I think this is a phenomenal opportunity to buy the dip, you know, get in nice and low and just wait for this dynamic to take place. Trump has said on multiple occasions he wants to get interest rates below 1%, which would be below, you know, Japan's 2% interest or whatever, right? Amazing. Amazing. All these negative people on XRP, did everybody miss the Ripple Bank thing? It was kind of important. Maybe take a look. Yeah, it's great. They still need to meet some regulatory guidelines. It's not going to happen overnight. It's an amazing development. It's going to take time to come to fruition. But yes, it's incredible. And I think we're going to start to see the impacts of that after Q2 2026. Because, you know, obviously we're not operational for a while yet. Everything is on sale. Stop complaining. Yeah. That is true. Yeah, I'm just here for the people that actually want to listen to reason. That's all. Damn, hating on Jake. Regardless of what Jake believes or any other XRP YouTuber, this asset will be more valuable in the future. I'm just saying it's grossly irresponsible to say that XRP is going to hit $100 per coin in 2 weeks. That's all. You can take that however you want. You can cry about it. You can say, oh, well, whatever. But I think that's grossly irresponsible. And if people are genuinely on their platform right now, where a lot of people listen to them and follow their advice, like people do with Jake, and he says it's going to hit $100 in 2 weeks, and it's actually not going to do that or go anywhere near that number, I think that's grossly irresponsible. That's just my opinion. Don't need to get too hurt about it. The problem is everything is always on sale. That's a bear market for you. Yeah. Not everyone's meant to be helped. That's true. I'm just doing it for the people that will listen and the people that will be helped and the people that will take advantage. And that's fine. Levi, don't be bothered by these winners. It doesn't bother me, bro. Don't worry. I appreciate you. Much love, man. Can XRP be used like Bitcoin? It can be used for a lot more than Bitcoin can be used for. Way more. I've been accumulating for the last 2 years. Was up by 250K when we topped. Should have sold. Hey, man, listen. You have a great opportunity, I think, very soon here to, you know, accumulate some more. We got to look on the bright side, right? We got to look on the bright side. If you miss the top, that's fine. It's totally okay. You know? Jake is pumping his own bags. I don't know why he goes on his platform and says what he says. Like, I don't think any, like, actual serious human being who manages a lot of money could genuinely believe in the things that he believes. Like, it's like just so far outside of the realm of reality, and he's going to completely tarnish his brand and his reputation on, like, these completely bogus price predictions, saying XRP is going to hit $750 by the end of 2025 or $100 by the end of 2025, and then saying that XRP is going to hit $10,000 in 2026. Like, he said this stuff multiple times throughout this year. Recently, he's been saying this. Like, you know, he's been saying that XRP is going to hit $100 before the end of the year, like in December, like this month. And so, like, when it obviously doesn't happen, people are going to look at this guy and be like, does he really have this insider knowledge that he says he does? That's a reasonable question. I mean, I've been critical of the guy, and you can hate on me for that, but I think he has some responsibility to take here. A lot of people listen to him. A lot of people give him their XRP so that he can custody it, and he benefits from his messaging. A lot of people go to this guy as some kind of messiah, somebody who, you know, provides all of this amazing insider knowledge and has these NDAs and is so well connected, but nothing he says comes true. So it just, to me, it seems like there's a big disconnect there. I think there's something very fishy going on there. I am highly suspicious of him, and I will continue to be critical of him because, frankly speaking, I think somebody has to be. Someone has to hold him accountable. If I'm not going to do it, who is? I mean, nobody wants to speak up. Why would you give somebody else your XRP, period? I mean, that's just ridiculous. Hold self-custody. That's the whole point of crypto. You're the most realistic YouTuber, hands down, man. Thank you. I mean, listen, I'm here to be honest. I'm here to like actually make money. I'm here to help people, genuinely help people, not just, do what's in my own best interest. I could literally just do exactly what Jake Claver's doing. Like, if I was a lying, pretentious person who doesn't care about anyone but himself and genuinely just wanted to make as much money as possible, I could make millions of more dollars every single year doing exactly what Jake Claver is doing. And this is why it is so like frustrating to me that so many people follow this guy, because I could easily make millions of dollars more doing that, and people just believe him, even though I can obviously see it's all a game. Like, this is like, I very strongly believe he doesn't believe that XRP is going to hit $10,000 per coin in 2026 or $100 before the end of the year. I genuinely believe that. I don't think he believes that. I think it's ridiculous. What would you tell people if you do 3 steps to get into your Discord and never send them invites? It's all on the website. You must have done one of the steps wrong, entered in the wrong UID, whatever. But if you didn't get the invite and you didn't proceed past that page and you didn't press the link and you didn't claim your access on WAP, chances are you did something wrong on the step of the way there. We have more than 4,000 people that are in the premium access. So you just gotta, double check everything's right. Did you submit the right email, the right user ID for your exchange? Double check. Doesn't every YouTuber sell hope in a way? Maybe, like, you can make that argument, but like, there are YouTubers out there that are a lot more realistic. Like, YouTubers that say like, hey, like, it's a bear market now. That's actually a great opportunity, right? It's a great opportunity to buy the dip. Like, you could say maybe that's selling hope, but like, that's more realistic. It's not like selling some kind of false idea, right? That like, oh, we're going to hit $100 in 2 weeks. So like, there's like an honest way of selling something and there's a dishonest way of selling something. And that's my problem here. You keep on about Jake. Won't you go on about your own predictions? If you watch my videos, you can see. You can see. I already make 50K a month on Levi's Discord. Big shout out to you, man. Let's go. We are going to bounce back in 26 minutes, and it's just going to keep climbing until we hit $1,328 per coin. Very specific price there, man. Very specific price. I wouldn't call this a crash. We're still above the golden ratio. What's this golden ratio you're referring to? Ritual and psyops aplenty. Yeah. There are plenty of things designed to distract. I mean, we're down 5.58%. If this was happening on the S&P, people would be losing their minds. Trillions of dollars gone. No. People would lose their mind. What's happening with Bitcoin? How much down is it? So Ethereum's getting wrecked, actually, down 5.9. Bitcoin down to 85K now. I don't know anything about Caleb and Brown's Sperriman, but I'm just not going to give anyone my XRP, period. Why would I give someone else my XRP so that they can hold custody of it for, like, it just makes no sense. I feel like that is such a ridiculous concept. I'm against ETFs. I'm against Anchorage. I'm against, other people holding my XRP. Like, no, that goes against everything that crypto is supposed to be. Why are you in crypto if you're sending your XRP to other people? It makes no sense. What's my real prediction? I think that we're going to continue to trend down. It's going to be a red December. That's my prediction. I'm not going to give you a price and be like, oh, XRP is going to hit, $100 by the end of this month. That's not how I operate, bro. Your opinion, if it hits $100 or more this month? I would probably be like completely shook out of my mind if that happened, because I would make like an unfathomable amount of money in that event. Like, you guys just, like, it would be insane, like I would become so extremely wealthy. I mean, that's absurd. I blame Trump. He is pro crypto, but for himself and his family. I mean, this is not really Trump's fault. I don't think. I don't think it's fair to say like Trump is to blame. Like, sure, you could be like critical of like his meme coin and maybe even like World Liberty Financial, and maybe if you disagree with those business models and how they're going about it, I can completely understand that. Don't get me wrong. Like, would these things have ever been successful if he wasn't the president? I think that's a very valid question, you know? But I wouldn't say like this happening in crypto is necessarily his fault to any degree. I do think when Trump was inaugurated, we had one of the greatest crypto rallies for XRP ever, period. So, you know, you could also look at it from that light too. Where do we see the bottom at? I think it's going to be somewhere around $1. Might be a little bit below, might be a little bit above, but I do think we're going to find that bottom within the next 6 to 8 months. And we can go back on the tape and see if I was right or wrong. But that's what I think. How do I feel about Canada right now? I think, well, you know, like certain areas of Canada are good, other areas not so much. It depends where you are in Canada. It's kind of like the US, you know, like not every US state is amazing. Like, you know, California isn't amazing right now. I mean, especially the larger cities. But, you know, there's major cities in the US that are amazing, you know? Trump's trade war has nothing to do with falling prices. I'm not saying that, no. I'm not saying that it has nothing to do with falling prices. It definitely, like, plays into it. But a lot of it's overblown, like investors panicking and losing their minds, you know? So that's my main point, is like people are losing their minds over a tariff when it has nothing to do with crypto. In fact, crypto should realistically be benefiting from tariffs if you really break it down. It's just people panic and panic sell and think it's the end of the world and whatever. Do we sell now and buy back in at $1? I mean, I wouldn't do that personally, because like you missed your like, I wouldn't say you missed your opportunity. Like you should have been dollar cost averaging out when we were above the 50-week SMA. Realistically, like if you're trying to play this properly, we're now below that. Right? So anywhere below that, your mentality should be, okay, I'm going to try and get this dip type deal. And be ready to do that for, you know, 6 months, 8 months, however long it is going to take for us to find our bottom. You do a really good job, bro. Thanks, man. Much love. So it's a good time to sell and wait until 60 cents. I just kind of answered that. I'm just going to buy the dips at this point. If you didn't exit when we were above the 50-week SMA and you didn't listen, or maybe you weren't watching my channel, you know, I think, like, personally, if I were in your guys' positions, personally speaking, not financial advice, I would be just buying the dips here at this point. Never sell XRP when it becomes valuable. Use it for loans and keep building. Use it for loans. I'm definitely not taking loans out against my XRP, personally, but I mean, you do you, bro. The bottom for H-bar? That's a good question. I mean, a lot of the altcoins are going to get, you know, wrecked. Wreckety wrecked. H-bar is at 11 cents. Interesting. We're definitely going back to the single cent scenario. You know, like 50-60% drawback is reasonable to assume. Never sell XRP when it becomes valuable. Big investors waiting for the low, they'll buy it all. That's true. I mean, that's what happened with Bitcoin when the last bear market, right? Bitcoin at like 16K, and then there was a lot of buys at that level. A tremendous amount of buying power. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I do think that's a very likely way this plays out. We're going to find a bottom. You know, what we got to look for is when that arbitrage opportunity presents itself again. You know, if US rates and Japan rates are the same, you know, it's like a lose-lose situation. There's no arbitrage there. But like when US rates are below Japanese rates, that's what we got to look for, guys. That's like when the reverse arbitrage is going to start. Hey, Levi, WTF is X Ripple base. Please explain. X Ripple base? Sorry. X Ripple. Could you type it again, maybe? How is Jake 99.99999% sure we hit $100 this month? I don't see it. It's just not gonna happen, dude. And when you make a bet like that where you're 99.99999% sure that something absolutely ridiculous like that happens in 2 weeks or something, which he said like in December or November or whatever. I don't know. I just like sure, if you want to bet your reputation on something like that, bro, go for it, dude. Like that's your platform. You do whatever you want with it. I just think that's extremely irresponsible, personally. Just keep buying on the way, down and hold. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Is it possible to join the Discord without signing up to BTCC? Yeah, there's two other exchanges you can sign up on. You got options, okay? So if you guys want to join the Discord and get the premium access where you see all my trades, you got 3 options: Blowfin, Bitunix, or BTCC. Whichever one you want to do, you can do any 3 of these. You just sign up, deposit, enter your information in this form, and then you get the premium access. It's that easy. It's that easy. Yeah. You got options. Jake is using 100x leverage with his reputation. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. It's an interesting strategy. Good for him in the short term, but it'll really blow over and look super bad when it doesn't happen and none of his predictions come true. And so I just don't see why he's doing that. It makes me a little suspicious. Like, why would you bet your entire reputation on something insane happening just to get clients in the short term who will likely lose all trust with you in the long term? Like, I don't know. You know, why would you do that? Like, I think that's a valid question. No, Jamie, Jake has specifically said with just XRP ETFs and nothing else in his domino theory, XRP will hit $20 to $25 per coin. So the only if certain thing happens, whatever, that's like the biggest defense I see for Jake Claver, is completely out the window. He literally said with just ETFs, nothing else, XRP will hit $25 per coin before the end of 2025. He said that on multiple occasions. And then he went on record in November and said he's 99.99999% sure that XRP is going to be $100 before the end of the year. That is all going to start unwinding because he has all this info. So, like, if you're going to defend him, at least, you know, defend what he's actually saying. Please. XRP and alts getting wrecked again? Yeah. Borderline evangelism. I mean, it's just unbelievable the cult that surrounds this guy. It's like people will like literally ignore like most of what he is saying and then nitpick like this very small detail which is not backed by, you know, what he's actually really saying at all, and then say like, oh well, to be fair, like he said, oh, if all of these things happen. No, he said, he literally is on record saying if XRP ETFs happen, XRP is going to be $25 per coin by the end of the year. Like, you can literally go look it up if you really don't believe me. Like, he has said that. So, yeah, you can defend the guy all you want, but the fact is, he's like way off on everything that he's saying. It's not even close. Pay for your son's wedding. Lucky guy. I have a take profit order. I'm not defending him. I think he is nuts too. Okay, fair. That you could have said that to begin with, because you have no idea the lengths some of the people in his community go to defend him. It's unbelievable. Like it actually, like, it's just shocking. I did not think there was that many people on Earth that were that ignorant, but you know, I get proven wrong every single day. He will say no, I said a certain set of events. I have the receipts, bro. He can say whatever he wants. Totally agree, Levi, what you're saying. He said ETF minimum $25. He's got to go back to the Sean, man. Exactly. Yeah. Maybe he needs to go back and consult Sean some more before he makes these predictions. No one knows nothing. Yeah, I mean, like, listen, all we can realistically do is look at historical events that align similarly and how investors have reacted to those situations, and then, you know, kind of make an educated estimate based off of those informations, you know? And you know, look at like the cold hard facts, like, are we in a bear market? Are we in a bull market? You know, is this asset actually growing? Is it getting new partnerships? You know, look at the actual facts and then base your investment strategy around that. You know, like, that's really all we can actually do. Realistically, that's how people actually make money long term, unless they're like insider trading or something. Then that's a whole other bag of worms. But like, listen, we're not insider trading here. We're not breaking the law. So yeah. Someone's pissed. To be fair, he said by the end of the year. Still time. Man, I can't wait. I cannot wait for January 1st, okay? When January 1st happens, guys, I'm going live. And every single one of you guys who are defending Jay Claver better get on my live stream, okay? You better get on and you better say sorry. That's all. That's what I expect. That's how you guys repay me. And then you start listening to what I say. Apart from predictions, his theories are better than yours. Yeah. His theories are better than mine. Yeah. Like how the Japanese reverse carry trade, quantitative tightening, and sucking up of global liquidity is somehow going to push XRP's price to $10,000 per coin. That domino theory is better than mine. The one that's backed by historical facts and actual information. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I didn't realize his theory was so bulletproof. I'll take bets with odds. I challenged him to a bet. He didn't take it because he knows he's going to lose. How's there anyone actually defending Jake? Beats me, bro. Like, genuinely beats me, dude. It's insane. Exciting times for those that see this as a buying opportunity. Very true. It was clear Jake Claver was wrong. It was to me, but apparently it wasn't clear to everyone. I can see at least there's like, you know, most 90% of you guys in my live stream chat have some common sense. Amazing. Shout out to you guys. For the 10% that genuinely believe that XRP is going to hit $100 in 2 weeks. Like, if you genuinely believe that's going to happen, I am so sorry. I am so sorry for you, bro. I don't want you to be disappointed, but you're gonna be. Have you seen him do math on the fly? I have not. But I imagine if he's making a $10,000 per XRP price prediction, it can't be too good. So, why are you so emotional? I'm passionate, dude. I am so passionate about what I do. I love this. I do, genuinely. And so that's why. I was that guy. It's okay, man. Listen, we can all admit when we got duped, when we were wrong. As long as you can. I have so much respect for that guy. The guy who says, you know what, listen, I bought into this fake, you know, $100 narrative by Jake. I was wrong. You know, that was stupid. I don't know what I was thinking. Whatever. I have so much respect for that person. You have no idea. Because to like change your mind and be like, okay, like that was kind of silly, you know? And like maybe laugh at yourself a little bit. It's not easy to do. But like if you can do it, you 1000% have what it takes to actually make it in this space. Because crypto is lightning quick, dude. Things change at the snap of a finger. You know, things are going to reverse and they're going to go crazy. And if you're like able to actually adapt to the market when these things are happening, you're going to make it. 100%, I believe in that from the bottom of my heart. He is bad at math. I mean, I believe it. I mean, to come out and say that it's going to take over 100% of Swift, and that, you know, XRP is going to be like the world standard bridge currency, and that it's going to hit $10,000 per coin in 1 year. you have to be a little bit disconnected from the actual numbers. Truthfully speaking, you do. You can't just be actually like seriously crunching numbers and speculating that hard. It also tells me that he's a horrible investor if he like genuinely believes in what he's saying. Like no serious investor is making these kinds of wild speculations, period. Like you like get Jake Claver next to Warren Buffett and let them have a conversation. Someone who's actually made billions of dollars investing versus somebody who just grabs other people's XRP and then makes wild speculations. Get those two guys sitting together. I would pay $1 million to make that conversation happen. That would be the most entertaining thing of my entire life. Levi is unemotional as a trader, but when it comes to Jake, that's facts. That is facts. I can't wait for Jake to go live so I can roast him so hard. He's just going to ban you from the chat like he does with everyone else, bro. I agree, Levi. You're passionate because we all recognize what's going to happen to the coin when it doesn't happen, and all these people believe this guy. It falls like bricks. Exactly. I mean, like, listen. If, like, you believe XRP is going to go to $100 in 2 weeks, and then XRP is trading below $2 in 2 weeks from now, what does that do to your psyche, right? If you're in that person's shoes. Think about it. How much damage does that bring to the XRP community? I mean, let's think about that genuinely, right? If there is thousands of people that believe in this pipe dream and it doesn't come true, and these people are now upset and angry, what do you think happens to XRP as a whole? It's going to create a lot of infighting, people mad at each other. I just want to get ahead of this. Truthfully, that's all I want. I want to get ahead of this. I want to show people that, like, just because XRP didn't hit $100 or $10,000 or $1,000 per coin by the end of this year does not mean that, like, XRP is a bad coin, which is something that people are genuinely going to get to in a few months. I'm calling it. I've seen this happen every single bull market. It always happens, right? There's always someone who sells the pipe dreams, who gets way too big of a platform that way too many people believe, and then they are completely wrong, and it kind of crumbles apart. All I'm trying to say is like, it's going to be a bear market. We're going to hit lows. We can buy those dips and we can make a lot of money next bull run. That's it, right? I want as many people to hear that message as possible, because people that do genuinely hear that message and do the right things and that are responsible people, I don't see any reason why they can't be anything like I was the last couple of bull runs, making millions of dollars. It's an amazing crypto. XRP is fantastic. You can make millions of dollars with XRP going from 30 cents to fucking $3 per coin. Why are you looking for $10,000 per coin? It's because you're not actually putting in the right strategies to take advantage of the bull markets and bear markets. Simply put, because if you're actually doing that, and you're actually compounding your earnings, you could be like Nancy Pelosi or Warren Buffett or these people that are like actually making millions of dollars in investing, not these people selling some kind of dream in hopes that you give them your crypto so that they can make some kind of management fee for doing nothing. What value do you get from that? Zero. It's ridiculous. Oh, I'm gonna pay this guy 1% a year so that he can hold my XRP for me and tell me that XRP is gonna hit $10,000 per coin. Like, are we being for real right now? That is like that blows my mind. Nancy inside trades, we can't do that. Okay, maybe Nancy's a bad example. Let's look at Warren Buffett. Okay, let's just Warren Buffett. He's the example. This might as well be Jake's channel, bro. He's not getting clout from me. That much I know. He's getting a lot of accountability. People in the chat hoping $10,000 per coin. Like, dude, did you not see how long it took Bitcoin to take $10,000 per coin? Also, like, everyone who says that, oh, well, like, Bitcoin hit $10,000 per coin, why can't XRP? Obviously, XRP could do it too. do you understand circulating supply? Like, do you understand the difference between an asset that has 1 trillion supply and 1 billion supply? Do you understand the difference? Because I think everyone who says, oh, well, XRP can hit $10,000 per coin, just look at Bitcoin. They don't understand that there's a different circulating supply. Right? Like, they must not understand that. Like, it's somehow the same for XRP to be $10,000 and Bitcoin to be $10,000. Like, that is the same thing. Like, no, dude. Those are two completely different things. It's not total supply, it's available supply. Same. I'm talking about like total available liquid circulating supply. Circulating. Keyword, circulating. You mentioned in your last video that it might take 10 years for XRP to reach $20 to $40. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not going to speculate overly on the price. It's entirely possible it happens next bull run, you know? So like maybe 2027, 2028. Maybe a little bit after that, right? That's entirely possible. But I'm not going to say, oh, it's going to happen next bull run, whatever. It's going to happen this week, this month, you know? I think it's entirely possible and very likely that XRP will be $20 to $40 in the future. I do. But, you know, I can't speculate on that. I can't say like, oh, I think it's going to happen here, then, whatever. I'm done with that. It's going to happen at some point, I believe, in my heart. I believe based off what I'm physically seeing. I believe that. Hey, Jake is right. $100 is coming, but not $100 in pennies. Yeah, 100 pennies is coming. Woo! Guys, we're bouncing. We're back up to 190. Let's go. 40 is reasonable in 10 years. I mean, yeah, it's a very reasonable estimate if we keep growing. Year's done, Jake. So sorry. Hey, listen. We have 2 more weeks still. Okay, guys? We got to give Jake the benefit of the doubt here. You know, XRP could still get to $100. We still have 2 weeks, okay? Like, you know, let his prediction come true. I've mortgaged my house. I'm betting everything on this, okay? Please. All crypto is collapsing due to the Great Reset. It's a type of reset, yeah. You know, when Japan's raising their rates and the US's rates are close enough to Japan's and people can no longer arbitrage trillions of dollars, it's a type of reset for sure. Yeah. Levi, I'm sure you have done vids yourself. High prices if the government used to pay off. Yeah, like I've said, like, listen, like in like a perfect world scenario where all of these things happen, yes, XRP will be this price. Like if we adopt and we have like 20% or 30% of Swift or whatever, and like if all these ETFs go perfectly well, and if the government is doing quantitative easing, I've said this previously. You're not dreaming about that. All I'm saying is like, if all of those things happen, yeah, it's possible, but like, since when has everything gone completely to plan? You know? It's not impossible. Nothing's impossible. But at the same time, it is speculation. And I'm going to start moving away from that as much as possible. And that's all that Jake has done? No, Jake has literally said, with just ETFs, nothing else, just ETFs, XRP will be $25 per coin. I literally made a video on it on my other channel. You can go look for yourself. He's also said it's going to be $100 per coin by the end of this year. $750 per coin. He has a bet. He has an actual bet that XRP will be $750 by the end of this year. An actual bet right now. Don't forget the grassy knoll theory. If people do not listen to the common sense that Levi's telling you, good luck. Like I actually, like, when I say good luck, I mean that, dude. Like, if you don't want to listen to me, that's fine. I'm okay with that, but I don't know. I just, like, $100 per coin in 2 weeks, man. Are we for real right now? What would you do if by some miracle Jake is right? If Jake is right, and XRP hits $10,000 in 2026, as he's predicted on many different occasions, I will buy an island. I will declare it a sovereign nation. I will name it XRP Island. And I will invite everyone who holds XRP and wants to use XRP as tender to join my nation. That's what I'll do. Because I'll have more than enough capital to do all of those things. More than enough. The closer this draws in to the end of the year, I'm just in awe of it all past and the popcorn. We're about to watch this guy lose every client he has. I mean, there's always going to be like a small subset of people that will always believe and hang on to every word he says, for sure. But like, I do think the vast majority of people that do business with him and that gave, you know, him their XRP through Anchorage and all that kind of stuff, and pay him management fees, are going to be extremely disappointed. I mean, it's just silly, really, you know? If Jake is right, yeah, I'll erect a statue of him. If XRP hits $10,000 in 2026, 1000%, I'll get a 100-foot tall statue, and I will put that in the center of XRP Island. And every single day, people can go to that statue and worship this guy. Because I think I wouldn't be the only billionaire that would be like minted overnight if that happened. So a lot of people would have a lot to thank, but it's just not going to happen. I mean, let's be real. XRP can't even hit $5. No way it'll hit 100 times. I don't know, bro. You should check in with the Claver community, bro. They're telling us we still got 2 weeks left. We still can hit $100 per coin. Just give it a couple of weeks. You know what I'm saying? Still 2 weeks left in the year. I'll come buff it for you. Dude, I'll buff it every single morning. Don't even worry about it, dude. All you guys have talked about prices? Yeah, but I have never said these ridiculous things. Like XRP's gonna hit $100 in 2 weeks, or XRP's gonna hit $10,000 per coin. I mean, there's a difference between saying in the most bullish case scenario, XRP can hit $20 versus in the most bullish case scenario, XRP is gonna hit $10,000 per coin. There's a very big difference between those two statements. And yes, I've said in the most bullish case scenario, we can hit $20 if everything perfectly aligns. I'll be the first to admit it, but never in my life have I said XRP is going to hit $10,000 per coin or $100 per coin in like 2 weeks or whatever, you know? 2 weeks left in the year, so you're saying there's a chance. There's always a chance, man. There's always a chance. Zach is stating like $8 to $13 in the next run. Dude, that's extremely reasonable. Extremely reasonable. 2 green candles. Yeah, we're finally moving up. It's nice to see. It's nice to see. What do I think about Crypto Sensei? You know what? Like, I've seen him be critical of Jake as well. You know, like some of his videos, he'll say like, I don't think that's ever going to happen. So, I mean, I've seen those clips. I haven't like watched all of his videos in great detail. Like, I don't know if he's actually making like these insane predictions. Like, some people will come to me and say, "Oh, did you see him make this prediction?" I haven't seen it. But if he's also making those predictions, I would just say like, "Hey, cool the brakes a bit, bud. Like, you know, let's get to $5 first." I just don't know. Quit hating, we're all a community. Yeah, we are. We are all a community. And Jake ain't part of it, bro. I heard someone saying XRP will go down to 60 cents. Yeah, that's actually possible. I think in the more bearish case scenario, it's possible. I said $7 to $10 by end of year 4 months ago. Yeah, and that like honestly 4 months ago, before the government shutdown and with all the ETFs that were about to be approved, like, that's not an insane thing to say. Have you ever purchased? No, I've never purchased XRP because of anything that Jake Claver said. I purchased XRP because I believe in it and I believe that it has good potential and I see the developments that it has. So what happened to Raoul Paul's Banana Zone we're supposed to be heading into? Well, we haven't gotten QE from the United States of America. And so Raoul Pal's Banana Zone is very heavily based on quantitative easing and M2 growing, which, yes, global M2 actually has been rising, which is what allowed us to get this bear market, or bull market rather, sorry. So that's great, but the US hasn't actually been quantitative easing. They were buying T-bills and all that, sure, but that doesn't have the same effect as actual quantitative easing on the economy. So we need to see that, basically. How do I like Common Sense Crypto? I've heard his name before. I haven't watched his videos, if I'm being completely honest with you. I've heard some good things. I think he's a good guy, but I just don't really know him. It's time for lunch. Enjoy your lunch, Bruce. Sold everything before this crash. Gonna buy back. Hey, man, good for you, Dave. I can picture Jake in handcuffs easier than I can on the cover of Fortune magazine. I mean, the guy almost went to jail. I mean, a thing about Jake that many people don't know is he almost went to jail. Look up the Jake Claver Verivind lawsuit. This guy settled outside of court and he admitted to forging financial documents. Jake Claver quite literally admitted to forging financial documents. So I don't think you're wrong to think that, honestly. If this guy's willing to forge documents from another company in order to make it look like he's receiving wire payments that he actually is not receiving, what else do you think this guy's capable of doing? Just some food for thought. Many people don't even know that about Jake, but that's the truth. Ask him about his lawsuit in his live stream chat. Send him a super chat and ask him about it. See how he dismisses it so quick. He'll say it's just a misunderstanding, but if you look at the actual court listener documentation, which is the official docs, in that document, he admitted to forging documents. So, do you need some credit on the exchange? You just need to do a deposit, bro. And you'll also get a deposit bonus. Every single one of my exchanges are giving out deposit bonuses right now, between 20 to 30%. So yeah, just you can transfer your crypto from whatever exchange you're on right now over to one of the exchanges under me. Minimum $500, but you can get a bigger bonus the more you deposit. What do I think about Stock Mo? Once again, I don't know a lot about the guy. I know he was having some troubles with YouTube like I was. He seems like a good guy. Jake was the first person to call it the reverse carry trade. No, he wasn't. The yen carry trade, the yen reverse carry trade has been something that's been well known amongst investors for a very long time. He just grabbed something that was already pre-existing and spun a narrative on it, which is completely false. That like somehow this is going to be the domino that sends XRP to $10,000 per coin, when historically this has been horrible for riskier assets like crypto. So like, yeah, he grabbed an already pre-existing narrative and spun it his own way to try and sell a story to people that were, not willing to do their own research, basically. So yeah, you can say he was the first to talk about it, but realistically, he just spun it in a way that I think is completely false. Do you have any NDAs with that? Yes, I do. What are your thoughts on when Paul Atkins said on TV that everything will be tokenized over the next 2 years? Yeah, I do think that's going to be big for XRP. But another thing we need to keep in mind is like, it's not like everything is going to be tokenized on the XRPL. Like there's plenty of other blockchains that these guys are going to use as well, right? They're going to use Ethereum, they're going to use Solana, they're going to use XRP, they're going to use HBAR. Competition is everything, Since when has there been like one AI company that is completely taken over and the best for longer than like a very short period of time? These AI companies are all developing at lightning speed, investing billions of dollars in this huge race. The tokenization of real world assets and the blockchains that they're being built on, it's not going to be any different. So to make a bet that is going to be 100% on Ethereum or 100% on XRP or 100% on HBAR is a very silly bet to make, in my opinion. I do think that XRP is going to definitely be a part of that, for sure. But we also have to look at like smart contract capabilities and development capabilities. Like which blockchains are actually the easiest to develop on? Which blockchains can you actually tokenize real world assets on today the easiest? Those are really important questions. Thoughts on Moon Lambo? He seems like a cool guy. He seems like a cool guy. I watched his videos, a long time ago. Seeing the risk with Moon Boys, can you sort of do a session with someone who maybe has an opposing view, just to try to get a balance and listen to / for against? Like a Tyler Connor House of Crypto insight. Yeah, I'd be very happy to do that. Yeah, I do think though, like House of Crypto, he's a very reasonable guy though. Like he's not like insane Moon Boy energy, if that's what you're trying to say. But yeah, I'd be extremely happy to bring someone on who's reputable, who has a audience that believes in these things. Like I've invited, like I have an open invitation to Jake Claver. Like, hey, you want to like actually talk to somebody who's not just gonna just agree with everything that you say and ask you harder questions? I'm 100% down to have that conversation with Jake. I very publicly disagree with what he's saying. I think he's a prime example of somebody who's built an audience on something that is completely outside of the realm of reality. And I would be more than happy to debate this guy live. I would do it. But he's not going to take that bet. He's not going to come debate me live. Because he knows it's just going to be a loss for him. Moon Labos saying we're in a bull market. Yeah, I haven't watched any of his videos recently, so I have no comment. I don't know what he's been saying recently or whatever, but you and Stock Mo would be a force in the crypto community. What is Stock Mo's view? Does he think that the markets are bullish right now or bearish, or what is he actually thinking? I would actually pay to see you and Jake debate. I feel like a lot of people would, because I don't think he's actually ever debated people. He's just brought people on who agree with him. Do you feel the same about anyone who's predicting $1,000 per XRP or $10,000 per XRP? My answer to them is the same. Like you're ridiculous. So you think you know more than Jake Claver? Definitely about certain things. I'm sure there are some things that Jake Claver knows more than me on too. But when it comes to investing and actually making money in XRP, crypto, whatever, there isn't a doubt in my mind that I know more than he does. And that says a lot considering he has an investment fund, right? Every crypto influencer is bullish. I mean, that's definitely not true. Stock Mo says it can go either way right now. He's anticipated to go up. He said Ethereum is putting up the best fight right now. I see. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think we find our bottom here in the next 6 months for sure. And then it's going to be bull market again after we find the bottom. But, if that's what he thinks, power to him. Why are XRP spot ETFs outpacing Bitcoin and Ether ETFs? I think a few different reasons. Number one, they're fresher, they're newer. There's more people still launching these ETFs, and there's going to be more to come. It's kind of like the next hot product on the block. And so, it's just getting more attention, basically. Because XRP actually does something? Yeah. I appreciate you. As we normal people benefit from you guys working around the clock. I'm happy to do it, man. I'm happy to answer questions and be here. Looks like we found our short-term bottom here. What was it at 186? We bounced. I'm curious to see how much more we move here. think of the revenue you can make from a pay-per-view debate. I'm not gonna charge people for that. You know, it's a funny idea, a pay-per-view event. Maybe if we were doing like an actual boxing match or something, then then we maybe do pay-per-view. Oh boy, these Arabs ain't playing. What do you mean? Putting in $5 trillion into crypto? They're investing like trillions of dollars into the United States, but that's not directly into cryptocurrency. Survive the next 6 months, and if lawmakers don't screw it up, things will greatly improve. I agree. Do you think we bounce back to $2 before going lower? Yeah, I think like, let me see here. Where did we start this decline? 201. Yeah, what was the highest we hit here? I can see us bouncing back to $2. I think we're going to continue to trend lower though over like the long, like if we look at the 1 day chart. I mean, as you guys can see here, since July it's been very, very bearish, but continuously seeing lower lows and lower highs. If we go here, 212, 212, 217. Yeah, I think we can break back above $2 for sure. I don't think it'll be sustained for a super long time, but I think we'll touch it. A crypto celebrity death match. You and Stock Mo have the best information for sure. I'll check out his channel. It seems like a lot of people follow him and think he's reasonable, so I'll check it out. I know he had like the same exact problem I had with YouTube maybe a while back. I heard about it, so yeah, I'll reach out to him. And I hope XRP can rally back to just over 2 so I can get out of this long. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if we go any lower than this, I'll load up a little bit more. That's what I'm going to do, and just wait it out. I believe anything with an ETF has the potential to be much more stable and less volatile. I see a huge buying opportunity for institutions to buy cheap. Yeah, no, I agree. Like overall, the more that institutions are involved in an asset class and the more money that's coming in, the more stable it will eventually become once the adoption curve kind of flattens, But during the time of the adoption curve and the mass adoption ensuing, it's going to be crazy volatile. Crazy volatile. I'm looking at 175. Yeah, I actually have a buy order at 175. Yeah. Hey, man, how do you stay up to date with everything? That's a really good question, man. Like most of what I do is staying up to date with crap, the absolute key, Brad, if you want the truth, is just to have really good sources of information that are very consistent. That's the key, because if you have like 2 or 3 great sources of information in a specific niche, you just look at those things and you gather that information every single day and you're good to go. So it's all about your sources, having really great sources and consistent sources, and doing a little bit of fact checking on your own end just to make sure everything is actually legit. That's the most important stuff. Is this your day job? Kind of. I mean, like I run a few different businesses. I have a lot of investments. I'm involved in real estate. Like I don't have like a day job per se. I'm like a founder, like I have a lot of things that I'm involved in, a lot of things that I'm investing in, a lot of things that I'm doing every single day, and I kind of just section my day up. Like I'll spend the first few hours of my day focused on everything relating to crypto, YouTube, my social platforms, my newsletter, my premium Discord, all that. And I'll check in every once in a while. Then I'll focus on like finding really great real estate opportunities, good investments there. And then I'll spend some time on stocks around that time as well. And then I'll check in again towards the end of my day, again on like kind of like the crypto related businesses that I have and all that. And I'll be answering messages and emails throughout the day. I'll segment time for everything. But yeah, I do have to have a very regimented routine because I have a lot of meetings, I have a lot of people I need to talk to, I have a lot of, things that I have to spend money on and important decisions I need to make relating to my businesses and investments and employees. So, there's a lot. There's a lot that goes into everything that I do that you guys don't see. Like most of you guys probably don't know that I have a team of people behind me. People that work on thumbnail designs, graphic design, help me with cross posting and editing my short form content, and newsletter writer, marketing team. So I mean, I run businesses and I invest. I guess that's the best way to look into it. Jake should just analyze, keep learning, and do less betting and predicting. I think the problem with that is if he changed and he stopped making these insane predictions, he wouldn't be as viral. He wouldn't get as many clients in his business. And so he's realized it's in his best interest to put these outlandish predictions out there because then, some suckers will believe him and pay $1,000 or whatever to get an LLC set up with him. What is it to stop Ripple from abandoning XRP, delisting and reintroducing same tech with different name at a very high price? Locking out of retail altogether? What does it stop Ripple from abandoning XRP, delisting and reintroducing same tech with different name? Well, first and foremost, if they did that, nobody with their entire community would turn against them. So I feel like it'd be a terrible strategic decision to do that because you would now have millions of people that are literally making it their life mission to destroy anything that you have. You're a core base of supporters who made everything possible for you. You now turn against them. It just doesn't make any logical sense, they could try it, but it just wouldn't end well for them. So there's no reason to do it. Levi, you're a YouTuber and not an inside player. Okay, bro. How's your baby? He's doing great. He's doing amazing. He's walking around, running around. He's learning so much every single day. He's grown so much. He's such an amazing kid. Having a baby is literally the best thing in the world. Need trust to redevelop business? Yeah. I'd love to see a $25 XRP. Wouldn't we all? That would be amazing. Of course. I'm out. Good luck, guys, and trade wisely. Shout out to you, Happy Fox Superstar. Much love. Much love. Amazing duo. Okay, Jesse James, I believe you. I believe you. Thanks for throwing it out there. I just got a direct message from Jake saying he's definitely not buying you a Christmas card now. That's hilarious. I'm very heartbroken over that. I'm very heartbroken over that fact. December 2026 XRP prediction. I'm not going to predict what XRP will be in 2026. What I will say is it's not going to be $10,000 per coin, okay? XRP is not going to be $10,000 per coin in December 2026. That much, I know. Beyond that, it's really hard to say. There's a lot that needs to happen, a lot for things to kind of shift around a bit here. And I don't think it's going to happen until we get a new Fed chair in, to be honest. But we'll see. It looks like we're indeed slowly climbing back up. Thank you, Levi, for what you do. Hey, my pleasure. Looks like I lost connection there for a second. The way it's looking right now, Bitcoin will be $20,000 in December next year. Lol, JK. Wow. You got me there, bro. You got me there. Some XRP face tats. That'd be fun. Do you work with gold buyers like pawn shops and use jewelry? No, I do not. I do not work with pawn shops. No. Uh-huh. What's up, Oscar? How you doing, bro? Do you do multiple entity real estate deals, or is it just by you? I don't invest in personal real estate anymore. Everything that I do is commercial. It's zoned commercial, and it's multi-tenant commercial properties. And is it just me that's investing? 90%. Yeah. 90%, yeah. When will the banks start using XRP for cross-border payments? Wouldn't we love to know? I mean, that would be fantastic to know, right? Added 200 more. Let's go. 188. Good for you, man. You got a nice little dip there. Yeah, shout out to Levi. Even though some people don't like your grounded view, there is no denying it's a realistic fact, supported opinion. That's true, man. Hey, we don't speculate on this channel. That's the #1 rule. No speculation. Levi, how do you and other TAs find price predictions on products like XRP when it hasn't hit a high yet? I don't focus on like specific prices. I think like if you're focusing like, oh, specifically XRP is going to hit $5 at this date, I think you're going to lose like every single time. Like the markets are almost impossible to predict to that level. And so like when it comes to my trades, I look at specific support and resistance levels when I'm using like very small leverage trades, and I use that to like take profits or set stop losses, etc. But when it comes to like, you know, my long-term holdings, I'm not like, oh, you know, like XRP $3 price start. No, it doesn't work like that. I look at the moving averages. I look at the 50, 100 week moving averages, the SMAs. I base most of what I do for my long-term holdings on the moving averages. Truth be told, when we fall below the 50-week SMA, like, okay, well, it looks like things are going to be very bearish, you know, and I just prepare for that. What I think about Oscar? He's a nice guy, dude. He's a nice guy. I've met up with him a few times now. Thank you for your great videos. Let's go. I'll admit the other sources I listen to are good, but you seem the most real and honest, so thank you. That's what I aim to be, man. Real, honest. Maybe I won't tell you what you want to hear every single time, but I will tell you what you need to hear. You know? That's the truth. Tired of the Ripple pickle? What's the Ripple pickle exactly? Were people caught off guard when Bitcoin initially ran? Like, are you talking about like the very first like substantial run that Bitcoin had? Well, that's a challenge, right? Because Bitcoin had no history. Its very first bull run, it had no history, right? You weren't able to see like, how does Bitcoin react during different financial conditions with, you know, the Fed? Like, it wasn't established enough yet, is really the main thing. And so, yeah, I think most people were very pleasantly surprised when Bitcoin went from like cents to $100 per coin. You had no history, right? But we have a long history in the stock market. We have a long history on the crypto market now. Not like a very long history, but like we have a history on the crypto market now. We have multiple cycles and how they played out. So now we have a lot more reasonable ways of kind of understanding the market. Nobody should invest based upon something they heard from one person on YouTube. Best to take in multiple perspectives and keep it realistic. I agree. Like, listen, I don't think like you should look at like what they are saying and what they have to back it up. And like if like the information you're getting is hidden behind NDAs and things that people can't say, throw it out the window. Because how are you going to use that? You know, how are you going to use that information? And that's not info. That's just like you trusting an individual who's betting his reputation on something happening, which is not a good bet. You know, people will say crazy things for money. But like if somebody's saying like, hey, like, look at these moving averages. Look at how this affected the market. Look at all these previous examples of us breaking below these moving averages and what ensued directly after. You know, look at all of this information that I have, all these facts, all these indicators, all of these, you know, really important pieces of info. You know, I think that's a different story. A completely different story. Do you think there will be a supply shock? And if so, it'll affect the price in an extreme way? Yeah, I do think there will be. I mean, you look back at November 2024 during the elections, the election super cycle, we call it. Yeah, XRP had a supply shock scenario that allowed it to see substantial price appreciation over a very small period of time, relatively speaking, right? And so I definitely think that's going to happen again at some point in time. I think it's going to happen in the next bull run, and we're going to see a similar outcome. Maybe it'll be more bullish with ETFs all bringing in liquidity as well. Maybe not. We're going to see. Ripple has received conditional approval to establish the National Trust Bank. How will this help XRP long-term in your opinion? Great question. A number of ways. So this is going to allow Ripple to actually engage in cross-border payments and be a liquidity bridge once they have the full approval, not the conditional approval. And so if we're looking at it from a point of getting XRPL more deeply integrated into the financial system, this is one of the most important things that we've had happen ever for XRP. Complete legal clarity, you know, conditional approvals for the banking license. It's great. I mean, if we want mass adoption and for huge institutions to use us, that is really important. Do you think we're going to hold up on a 180? I think we're going to bounce back here. We're going to find our next low high or higher low, lower high. Yeah, we're going to find our next lower high. Sorry. We're going to find that, you know, we're going to trade sideways for a bit. We're going to go back down again. We're going to hit a lower low. That's what I think. And then we're going to bounce up, you know, but the general trend is going to be down. The general trend over an extended multi-month period of time. But if you can still buy the dips and exit on the bounces, you're still going to be winning regardless. Just want to be sure not to get caught with your pants down, because, you know, as we can see, these markets flip very quickly from just trading sideways for a few days to boom, massive red candles. So to answer your question, do you think we're going to hold up? We'll see. But I do think the general trend is going to be down. We're in a bear market. By definition, we are in a bear market. Cohidi. Look at this chart, man. You tell me. Looks like we hit our peak here in July. And it's been nothing but down, down, down for months, right? If Levi and Jake debate, I'm betting 5 XRP, Levi wins. Hey man, I'll bet $1 million I'll win. It isn't like 2 to 3 months after QE. Do we actually see market changes, or is that when interest rates drop? Yeah, generally speaking, roughly, you know, yeah, between, actually sometimes on the very tail end, it could be up to 6 months after QE, but that's rare. But generally, yeah, 3 to 6 months after QE starts, we see the markets flip very bullish. Sometimes a little bit sooner, sometimes towards the end of the 6 months. But, you know, interest rates dropping increase the chance of QE happening, right? So that's really what we got to look for. What was the low that we hit right here? The low we hit right here was 188. Here was 186. All right, so we did establish a lower low. Is it possible to trade with you? Yeah, that's what I do on my Discord, bro. You can see all my trades on my Discord. Every single trade I make, it's there. When do you think the ETF will affect XRP price? I think we're not going to see it until quantitative easing starts happening and we get that few months after QE. So like let's say QE starts in let's say like May of 2026. 3 to 6 months after that, the liquidity will come in to the markets in crypto specifically, and that's when we can see a reversal. But we have to have lower interest rates in Japan too for that to really take place. Is it true that in the near future people will be able to buy property in Dubai for XRP? Yeah, I saw a huge development about that. They're making it legal like for transactions to happen with crypto over there. Chipper, much love, man. How you doing? Seems the XRP chart has a Bollinger Band setup. Yeah, I do think we're going to bounce here for sure. We hit our bottom support. We're now getting multiple green candles. Thank you. My pleasure, man. My pleasure. Thank you guys for being here. Much love to you guys. We've been live for an hour and a half. Wow, that's a long live stream, guys. So you disagree with David that XRP makes more sense at $1 million versus $1? You have lost your fastball, making new history with adoption. You have nothing in the past now to compare it to. Sorry. So you're saying that XRP should be $1 million per coin instead of $1 per coin? And I'm sorry, I have no idea what you're trying to say. Thanks for covering it. For my pleasure, man. My old boss, who owned a chain of pawn shops, used to say that he'd sell all of his scrap if gold ever went to 2,000. It's crazy to think that was just a few years ago. I mean, truthfully, yeah. I mean, the run that gold and silver has had is historic, man. It's insane. We haven't seen anything like that for silver since like the 1970s? Last time it happened, though, it took a real long time for silver to recover. So I hope we're not seeing a similar situation here. There's a penny stock. Short-term rental properties with tokenization. That sounds interesting. I'll look into it. Got to be careful with penny stocks, though. You got to make sure those people are very responsible individuals, which is hard to verify with penny stocks, to be completely fair. I'll take a look, though. I will take a look. Why not? Go ask AI how Claver's predictions are going. It tells you with a breakdown. He's on track. Okay. Let's do this. Why not? Why not? Jake Claver has predicted with ETFs XRP price would be $10 to $25 by the end of 2025. How likely is he to be correct on this analysis and prediction? Let's see what Grok has to say. I'm very curious. Jake Claver appears more aggressive. His specific forecast for the end of 2025 appears more aggressive than the $10 to $25 range you mentioned. I was giving Jake Claver like unbelievable amounts of benefit of the doubt here. AI is here to correct me on this. He's described this as a 100x explosion from current levels, with some discussions even touching $1,000 plus in optimistic scenarios, though he's been challenged by other analysts. Claver's analysis hinges on a perfect storm of catalysts. ETF-driven buying exhaustion over the counter and dark pool liquidity, Ripple's partnerships, and external shocks like rising oil prices from the Middle East. These are plausible long-term drivers. You know, XRP's utility and remittance and tokenized assets gives it real-world edges over pure speculation coins, but the timeline feels overly compressed. Short-term probability, very low, 5%. Medium-term outlook for $10 to $25, like in 2026, is maybe 30 to 40%. In summary, while Claver's enthusiasm highlights XRP's structural strengths, his and your cited prediction overstates near-term hype. It's more likely XRP ends in 2025 at $2 to $4 range unless a black swan event hits. For conservative investors, this underscores the value of dollar cost averaging over chasing bold calls. Crypto rewards patience, not prophecies. Very interesting, not prophecies, right? If you're holding, monitor the ETF AUM and Ripple news custody closely. How feasible is it for XRP to reach $10,000 per coin in 2026, as Claver has cited multiple times? Let's ask this. Even Grok is laughing? Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I mean, there's multiple. Well, let's see what it says here. See what it says here. Jake Claver, CEO of a Digital Ascension Group, has indeed been widely cited in recent crypto media discussions for extremely bullish XRP forecasts, including claims of $10,000 per coin by late 2026 or early 2027. These stem from his analysis on XRP ETFs, supply dynamics, and macroeconomic shifts. So, let's look at this. XRP at a $10,000 per coin market cap would be $604.9 trillion. Market cap, wow. Bitcoin's all-time peak market cap in 2024, 1.3 trillion. So XRP would be like, what, like 600 times the size of Bitcoin in that event? Seems reasonable enough. Even XRP hitting $1,000, another figure Claver has floated, would require a $60.5 trillion market cap. Still over 40% of global stocks and 10 to 13% of total world wealth funneled into one asset. So just $1,000 per coin, guys, is 10 to 13% of total world wealth funneled into just XRP. No real estate, no stocks, no bonds, no treasuries, nothing. Just XRP. No single cryptocurrency has ever approached this. Bitcoin's dominance hovers at around 55% of the 3 trillion total, and XRP's utility, while strong, faces competition from stablecoins, CBDCs, and rivals like Stellar. Almost like what I was saying before. So, for XRP to reach $10,000 per coin, as Jake Claver stated, 100% of the world's wealth would need to be funneled into just XRP. Wow. All of the dollars that exist today on planet Earth funneled into one asset, XRP. How likely do we think that is to happen, guys? In 2026? Like Jake Claver says? I would love the people that defend this guy to give me a reasonable explanation here. I'm sure he has said market cap doesn't matter. The fact still remains that all of the available dollars in the world would need to be funneled into XRP for it to reach $10,000 per coin in 2026. The fact still remains. Whether you care about market cap or not. So, explain to me, you moon boys, how that's supposed to work. market need to be in play in order to be that? We would need to print, we would need, like every single nation in the world would need to become Zimbabwe for XRP to reach $10,000 per coin. In short, Claver's 10,000 call is motivated by hype, not grounded analysis. The likelihood is 0%. Interesting. A 0% likelihood of XRP reaching $10,000 per coin. It's literally impossible. I don't think I need to debate this clown. Seriously. There's not enough money in the world for his 2026 prediction to come true. Why are people even listening to him? More realistic 2026 targets from analysts like Changeley sit at $2 to $5, assuming moderate bull conditions. So just a little bit off of that $10,000 price prediction. Yeah. But yeah, there's literally not enough dollars in the world for XRP to be $10,000 per coin today. But it's going to happen next year, guys. Everyone is going to unanimously decide across the entire globe to put all of the money that they have, whether it's a government, whether it's an institution, whether it's an entire country, whether it's every single real estate investor, whether it's every single stock investor, whether it's every single company that produces any amount of profits at all. Everybody is going to unanimously decide together to put all of their money, all of their capital into XRP by next year. This is the argument he makes. This is why I lose my mind. %0 chance. As cited by Grok. Okay? Debate done. Come on, Levi, $100,000 by December 16th. Hey, man, you might as well add a couple more zeros. Hey, Levi, always so glad when you go live when crashes happen. Appreciate how you break it down. Trying to DCA, hearing it could go below $1. What price do you think it would be another good buy-in? Thank you. You know, I'm buying anything around $1, bro. Whether we're just above $1, just below $1, at $1, I'm going to be continuously dollar cost averaging anywhere near that level. Personally. The future holds the truth. Nobody can have a price estimate on time. Yeah. $1 million. That's right. Well, the whole way we see money is going to change. What the hell is fiat anyway? It's arbitrary. Just a placeholder of meaning. That's exactly my point. It's just a placeholder of meaning. The global money supply is not enough today for XRP to be $10,000 per coin next year. That should tell you everything you need to know. Truthfully, if you have a brain and 2 cents, just add a few more zeros. Yeah, like why not, dude? You have a keyboard. Just add a few more zeros. Why are you saying XRP is going to be $1 million this month? I mean, why aren't you saying $1 billion? If we're just going to be if you're looking to have a good time, dude, just throw a couple more zeros on there. It's going to be, yeah, exactly. There we go. There it is. Kindergarten class in crypto. That's how it feels sometimes, dude. That's how it feels. Dealing with people that genuinely believe XRP is going to hit $10,000 in 2026. It feels like I'm talking to a bunch of kindergartners. Like, you guys can't be serious. But they are. They are serious. Oh, man. I feel so bad for these people. XRP is going to 100K per coin in the next week. Lol. Yeah, that's right, dude. Maybe I should do a video on if it's even possible for XRP to hit $10,000 per coin. I feel like that would be a good video. What do you guys think? Like, I'll actually analyze, is it actually possible for XRP to hit $10,000 per coin? I feel like that's a good video, right? What do you guys think? Because I think we just proved that it's literally impossible. Why don't you do a podcast with this guy? Honestly, at this point, I have zero interest, because if this guy's not even willing to look at the global money supply and like see if his prediction is even possible to happen, I don't think that it's even like, what's the point? You know? Back to work. Laters. Great show, Levi. Thank you. My pleasure, Monas. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you. He's using Jamaican voodoo. That's a new one. That is a new one. This isn't collapse. We've bounced nicely. We've bounced nicely. We're going down a little bit now again, though. What do I think of Zbeck? I haven't done enough research on it, to be honest. Jake is worse than Sailor. I'll say. At least Sailor's predicting like, you know, like a 20 trillion market cap, not 600 trillion, right? I mean, like, at least Sailor's prediction is like somewhat possible. Jake Claver's prediction is quite literally impossible. Oh my god. It's even worse than I thought, guys. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. There's literally a 0% possibility that what he is predicting happens. But he says it with 99.99999% certainty. What a world we live in, guys. No, I never helped anyone open a SafePal wallet. No. If you're talking to someone who's helping you, claiming to be me, immediately block them. Do not do anything. Levi, go look at my comment like 40 minutes ago. I said there's not enough money in the world for that. Did you? Yeah. Well, you're right. I just confirmed for myself there is literally not enough money in the world for that. Yeah. So very interesting development. I feel like I need to share my findings. Yeah, I'm gonna make a video. I'm gonna make a video on this. I always hear about the derivatives market, but like, brother, there is literally not enough money in the world. Derivatives, whatever, debt, whatever, it doesn't matter. There is not enough money available in the liquid supply in the entire world with all of the world economies together to push XRP to $10,000 per coin. Derivatives, debt, whatever, tokenization of real world assets, doesn't matter. There's not enough money in the world, bro. That's the only thing that matters. Liquidity. Need at least in the quintillions, which we don't have yet. Yeah, it's insane. Derivatives doesn't matter, bro. And that's also assuming XRP is 100% of everything. Which even then, if XRP is 100% of everything, period, and there's no other currencies that people are using, people are just dumping everything they have into XRP. Like, it's just like, and people still are trying to argue it, bro. Oh man, that's crazy talk, dude. I'm gonna make a full-on video on this because this was an interesting live stream. Thanks to everyone who asked me to do that. and analyze this a little bit deeper. All right. Love it. I love it. All right, guys. I need to eat some food. I'm going to spend some time with my fam. Thank you, everyone who watched the live stream. Much love to you guys. See you guys soon. Peace.